Okay, y'all, so I'm watching a true crime story about a pastor who unalived his wife. He did a whole sermon on marriage. He was cheating the whole time. Anyway, it's the hypocrisy of it all for me. That's not what got me. What got me is the way that he degraded women, talked bad about them. He talked about how if a woman has on a bathing suit, she's loose, right? He gave all of these analogies about her being loose and about how tough men need to be on their daughters, on their wives, and no man wants a woman who's nagging. No man wants a woman who's going to be in his business and ask questions and all this, right? In the same breath, same sermon, he talks about how a wife needs to love her husband no matter what he does. If he does wrong, baby, if he steps out, if he offends you, if he berates you, if he physically harms you, you're supposed to go pray for him and hang on in there. What? So if your wife offends you, you have a right to pretty much leave her, divorce her, harm her, bring harm to her if she, for a perceived offense, right? But your wife is supposed to be long-suffering. Gaslighting has been going on forever. Listen, it's a lot of women out here that worship their pastors. They go to their pastors for everything. And I'm not saying that there aren't some decent pastors out there. I have yet to. Just saying. My daddy did, so that was the only one that I. Anywho, I'm not saying it's not some good bishops and all these things out here, right? But what we need to do is use our discernment. Because y'all being gaslit, and it's not funny, it's scary. That some of y'all just turn a blind eye to everything these people do. And you follow blindly, right? One lesson I've learned in my time on this earth is be loyal to somebody's spirit. The Holy Spirit in that person. The Ruach HaKodesh within that person. When the Ruach leave, I leave. I'm like, oh, where we going? Because this is not who I met. I don't care about the person itself, how that person is. I'm not going to be loyal to you. When the God in you leaves you, I'm leaving too. Because you're not going to be able to care for me. You're not going to be able to protect me. I'm not going to have any value to you, right? When the God in you leaves you, I'm leaving too. I see people who ask their pastors everything, keep them in their business. And one thing I notice about some pastors, the difference between having a pastor and a therapist is a therapist wants you to become independent. We want to give you tools. We want you to know how to recognize patterns and behaviors. We want you to know how to utilize your strengths, utilize your spirituality, utilize whatever it is that you need to help you to get through whatever circumstances you find yourself in. Some pastors feed you just enough to keep you coming back. They don't want to empower you to be able to pray for yourself, to figure things out for yourself, to motivate yourself, right? To edify yourself. They don't want you to be able to find the answers for yourself and have a relationship with God for yourself, right? So they keep you coming back for more and making you codependent on them. They get something out of it, right? Being the master of you, of your world, of your thoughts, of your livelihood. And don't be married and you calling him all times of night for advice about your man, your husband, don't be married. That's really like a ego stroke, baby. That's, look, I'm running your wife and your life, right? I've heard people say this. That's pastors, right? And it is sickening. I'm not saying that a church doesn't have its place. I'm not saying that a pastor doesn't have his place. I did meet a good one. I did, from what I know about him. And I had my eye on him. Because I'm not trusting of any of the people, right? He seemed to be pretty decent, right? The things I heard about him on the streets and in the bushes, it was all consistent, right? And it wasn't like, oh, he had 2 babies outside of his marriage, but he's still a man of God. No, it was like, no, he's legit. Like, I've never heard anything about this dude. Like, this dude, he talks the talk, he walks the walk, right? Loves his wife, never disrespectful, speaks highly of everybody. I did some workshops for him. Great man, great church. Stokes, Pastor Stokes. But that's rare, few and far in between. And even he's human, and we need to recognize that, right? We have God in us. If we do what we're supposed to do, whatever your belief system is, right? You have the same ability to reach out to your creator that created you as anybody else. I just believe that. That's just how I was taught. I know how to look up what I need to look up. I know how to pray. I know how to wait. I know all the things. I have discernment. I just don't understand. I just don't feel like you closer to God than me. You're not closer to me, right? And if God tell you something to tell me, and he didn't tell me, it ain't from God. If it does not resonate with my spirit, that's not God. So you can take that on. Let's just connect ourselves to the God in people. And let's leave when God leaves. Because when he out, ain't nothing left for you. That's my 2 cents. Take or leave, it's free.